Well, it's quite clear that Emmanuel Macron is justified in complaining about Morrison's conduct. I mean, Scott Morrison elaborately deceived the French. And he doesn't pretend that he didn't. You know, he said we didn't tell them, he wasn't open with them. He's been criticised by the US president for his conduct. He's embarrassed the United States, apparently he's misled the United States, and he's deceived France. It is a shameful episode. Really, I mean, it is just shameful. And Morrison should apologise. Look, if Morrison had wanted to act honestly, let's just imagine that for a minute, hold that thought. If he'd wanted to act honestly, he would have sat down with the French and said, OK, we want to move to naval nuclear propulsion. I discussed that with Macron years ago. It's obvious. I wrote about it in my book. Had an honest discussion. France, they could have transitioned to nuclear propulsion with France. It actually would have been safer because they don't use weapons-grade uranium. You would have had the Americans in the room because, you know, the combat system is from America. You could have had an honest discussion between people who behaved in a trusting fashion. Wouldn't that be great? Isn't that the way leaders are meant to act? The idea that a nuclear reactor, right, with enough weapons-grade uranium to make many, many bombs can be treated like a power pack from Bunnings is incredible. I mean, it is just bullshit. Oh, he's lied to me on many occasions. I mean, there's quite a few examples in my book, but Scott has always had a reputation for telling lies. I mean, you know, look, you're all in the press gallery, right? You know that. But this issue has become so sharply defined that people will say, well, if Australia is prepared, you know, to throw France under the bus, what would they do to us? I mean, our trustworthiness is a national security asset. And those people in the right-wing media that say, oh, you know, former prime ministers should be mute, that's just trying to intimidate people to be silent. So I'm entitled to express my point of view on any matter I choose. It is a free country. Well, the only person that's damaging the office of Prime Minister's credibility at the moment is the incumbent.
In what way?
I mean, I haven't deceived anybody.
Yeah.